Sit close to the fire, brother. The night is cold, and the shadows are listening. You have heard stories, I'm sure. The ones white men tell in movies and books, monsters in the woods, creatures with glowing eyes. But those are just stories. What I am about to tell you is not. This is a story my grandfather told me, and his grandfather before him. It is not just a tale, not a warning, but a truth buried deep in our land. The thing that walks on two legs. The thing that wears the skin of men, but is not a man. Listen well, for once you hear its story, it knows you. And once it knows you, it never forgets. This happened many years ago when I was still a young man. The snow had begun to melt, and the rivers were full again, swelling with the breath of spring. It was supposed to be a time of renewal, but that year something was wrong. The air was too still, the animals too quiet. The elders said the land felt disturbed. It started with the dogs. The village dogs, the ones who roamed freely among our people, started disappearing. At first, just one or two, then more. Their bones were found in the woods stripped clean, left in strange patterns. The elders gathered in the longhouse, whispering of old things, of things that should not wake. Then we saw the signs. Tracks in the dirt, half human, half something else. They were long and narrow, the heel too pointed, the toes too clawed. They would start in the middle of a path, as if something had just appeared there. No beginning, no end. My uncle, a proud hunter, scoffed at the stories. He called it a bear, a trick of the light. He said fear makes men see things that are not there. That night, he went hunting, alone. We found him at dawn, just outside the tree line. His rifle was still loaded. His knife was still in his belt. He had not fought. He had not fired a single shot. His body was torn open, but not by claws, not by teeth. His chest had been split, clean down the middle, like someone had reached inside and peeled him open. His face, that was the worst part. His mouth was open. His eyes were open, frozen in terror. Not just fear, but something worse, recognition. That night, my grandfather gathered us all in the longhouse. The drums were silent. The fire burned low. He told us the story of the Achimu, the shadow that walks, the one that wears skins. It is older than the trees, older than the land itself. It was here before us, and it will be here long after we are gone. It does not hunt for hunger. It does not kill for revenge. It hunts because it enjoys the fear, because the chase is what it lives for. And once it has seen you, it will never stop watching. I didn't believe him, not then. Not until I saw it with my own eyes. It was near midnight when I first heard it. The sound of something walking outside my tent, slow, heavy. I called out, no answer, just silence. Then, my mother's voice.
Sleep tight, my son.
She was in the longhouse, asleep, but the voice, it was hers. Every syllable, every breath, perfect, too perfect. I did not move. I did not speak. Then I saw it. A shape just beyond the fire's edge, tall, too tall. It was bent forward, arms hanging low, fingers too long, and the face, I wish I had never seen the face. It was wearing a man's skin, but it did not fit. The mouth stretched too wide, the eyes hollow, black, and empty. It smiled at me, and then, in a voice that was almost human, it said, "Brother." It did not chase me. It did not lunge. It only stared, and it smiled, a long, slow, knowing smile. And then it turned and walked into the trees. I have not seen it since, but sometimes when the wind is quiet, when the fire burns low, I hear it. It is still out there, watching, waiting, listening. Let me tell you what happened after that night, when I saw the thing that wore a man's skin, when it whispered to me and left. I thought it was over. I told myself I was lucky. It had let me go, but the elders, they knew better. My grandfather did not speak to me for 2 days after that night. He only watched, observed, as if looking for something. And then, when the third night came, he summoned me to the longhouse. "Show me your chest," he said. I did not understand at first, but when I opened my shirt, I saw what had already been there, unseen by my own eyes. Across my ribs, etched in the skin as if burned into my flesh, was a mark. Not a wound, not a scratch, a symbol. A blackened spiral. The mark of the Skinwalker. My grandfather's face darkened. He gripped my wrist so tight his nails dug into my skin. "It has chosen you," he whispered. "You are marked, and it will come back for you." That was when the true horror began. At first, it was small things. The sound of footsteps outside my door when no one was there. The whispers in my dreams, speaking words I did not understand. But then, the dogs, they began barking again. Only this time they were not disappearing. They were being left for me. Laid outside my door every morning was the body of a new animal. A rabbit, a crow, a fox, each one twisted, broken, but not eaten. Left for me, as if something was feeding me. And every night the whisper came closer. I could not sleep. I knew it was there, waiting. One night I stayed awake, knife in hand. The fire burned low, barely casting enough light to reach the corners of the room. And then I felt it. I did not turn my head at first. I did not want to see. But then it spoke. I turned, and I saw it. Its face pressed against the glass, too large, its jaw unhinged, too wide, its skin too smooth, too stretched, as if it had not yet learned to wear it properly. Its black eyes reflected no light, only emptiness. And then it laughed. I did not sleep again after that. I knew it would not stop. The elders gathered. They burned sage, whispered prayers, but I could see it in their eyes. They knew, once it marks you, there is no running.